Hey, ESL learners. Have you ever felt stuck in an IT meeting because you didn't know how to express your ideas clearly? Today we're going to dive into this topic. Key language that will help you lead IT meetings confidently and communicate effectively. Whether you're presenting your thoughts, managing interruptions, or wrapping up the conversation, these phrases will help you own the room. What's your business English score? Get your scorecard. Stick with me because mastering this language will change the way your colleagues perceive you, giving you the confidence to shine in every meeting. I'm Teacher Burton Langell. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada, and I specialize in helping IT professionals improve their business English, especially for meetings, presentations, and just working in the office. I know how tough it can be to express technical ideas clearly, especially when English isn't your first language. In today's video, we're going to cover the key phrases you need for IT meetings, from opening the conversation, managing discussions, handling interruptions, and finally closing with authority. You'll come away from this video ready to make positive impressions in your next meeting. Let's start with the beginning of the meeting. Opening it effectively. Starting a meeting the right way sets the tone for the rest of the session. Instead of simple, let's start, try using these phrases. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate all you taking the time to join me today. I'd like to kick off by outlining what we want to achieve in today's meeting. Let's begin by reviewing the main objectives of today's discussion. How do you like these? Let me know. What would you normally say to start the meeting off? Try to get people's attention. And remember, it's about we. It's not about I. So interject we very often instead of I. Everything is about being cooperative. I was listening to a really interesting audiobook when I did my treadmill today, and it was about inclusive management. Really listening to the people that you manage, people you work with. What are their problems? How can you help? How can you make things happen? It's not just about profits. It's about everybody, all of the stakeholders. The audiobook was about a woman who became CEO of AT&T. I think her name is Miss Wan. And when she was 23, they put her in charge of 700 customer service people. And they were used to young executives coming in and being there for 6 months or so and then moving on to a bigger position. But she truly listened to these people. When she started meeting with them, people had their arms crossed. And they just thought she'd just be another one of those people who would be here and gone tomorrow. But she wasn't like that. She truly listened and she decided she wanted to make a difference. And this changed the whole workplace. And she brought the sales department and the customer service people together, which became kind of a trend in business. Really understanding the customers, not just attracting customers and converting them, but delivering services that includes the salespeople. Let's talk about these things. Made me really think about inclusive management. People want to help. People want to achieve things. Let's try some of these phrases. Using these phrases not only sounds more professional, but also makes it clear that you're in control of the session. It gives everyone clarity on why they're there, which helps to set a productive tone. Confidence in your opening also encourages others to engage. So again, we're talking about inclusive meetings. Setting the agenda. Once you've opened the meeting, the next key part is setting a clear agenda. Goes so much better when you have an agenda, doesn't it? In IT businesses, staying on track is often a challenge. People might get too focused on small technical details or go off topic. Here are some phrases to help you outline the agenda and keep everyone focused. Today, we have 3 main topics to cover. First, we'll discuss the progress on our current sprint. And then we'll look at the issues affecting deployment, and finally, we'll allocate action items for the next week. Does this make sense to you? Our goal today is to resolve any blockers related to the software update and to finalize the timeline. I'd always sort of finish each one of these. Anybody have something to comment? Any ideas? Are there any changes that we need here? Setting a clear agenda helps people know what to expect, and it keeps the meeting efficient. It's also a good idea to check with everyone right after outlining the agenda. You could say something like this: does everyone have anything they'd like to add to today's agenda before we start? This shows that you're open to input, but also you're managing the discussion proactively. Time is always an element in meetings, isn't it? We really have to manage time and keep the meeting on track. So it's kind of an art form, isn't it? Keeping everybody on track while being cooperative and open and inviting discussion. It takes a good leader to manage a meeting. So leading the discussion. Now that we have our agenda, let's talk about leading the discussion. IT meetings often involve a lot of problem solving and cooperation. To keep the meeting on track, use transition phrases like, let's move on to the next topic. Now that we've resolved this issue, let's look at the deployment schedule. If there are no more comments on this, we'll proceed to the next item. And don't forget, if you like this video, please indicate that you like it. And if you don't like it, let me know also. And feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And perhaps you could even subscribe. I'm really trying to get my channel going and start communicating more with people. So these phrases help ensure that everyone stays focused on the main objectives and doesn't get bogged down by too many side discussions. To encourage more cooperation, try saying, I'd like to hear everyone's input on this. Alex, could you share your thoughts on how we might resolve this issue? Directly inviting people to speak helps everyone be involved and keeps the meeting dynamic. It's especially useful if some team members are quieter and might need a little encouragement to participate. What's it like in your group? Please comment. We can have a good discussion about this. Handling interruptions and off-topic discussions. This is always a big issue, isn't it? We all know that IT meetings can easily get derailed. Somebody might bring up a topic that isn't on the agenda, or discussions that can get into too much technical detail. It's important to handle these interruptions politely but firmly. Here are some useful phrases. That's a great point. And let's add it to the parking lot for the next meeting so we can stay on track. We only have so much time today, so let's circle back to this next week. I appreciate your input, but let's focus on the current topic and we can circle back to that if we have time. How about some phrases to acknowledge the value of the contribution while keeping the meeting on track? If you need to move the conversation along, try saying, to keep us within our time frame, let's move ahead to the next point. Managing interruptions with these phrases keeps the meeting professional and productive. It also shows that you respect everyone's time, which is crucial in a busy IT environment, isn't it? Let me know your opinions on this. Sometimes discussions in IT meetings can get quite complex, especially when dealing with technical issues. It's always good to clarify and confirm details to make sure everyone is on the same page. Here are some helpful phrases. Just to be clarified, we are all in agreement on that deadline, that the deadline is Friday. Is that right? Can I confirm that we're all going to option B for the deployment strategy? If I understand clearly, the main issue is related to server configuration. Is that true? These phrases help avoid misunderstandings. And they also make sure that everyone understands the discussions, decisions, they're being made. It's important to check in regularly during a meeting, especially when there are lots of technical terms being discussed. How about encouraging this participation? Getting everyone involved is crucial to a successful meeting. You want all the team members to feel comfortable contributing their thoughts. Here are some ways to encourage participation. Let's hear from somebody who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. I'd love to get different opinions and perspectives on this. Does anyone have a suggestion? These phrases invite others to speak and create more inclusive atmospheres. It's also helpful to acknowledge contributions by saying things like, "Thanks for that idea. It's really helpful. I appreciate it, Mary. I appreciate your insight. It gives us another angle to consider." Positive reinforcement encourages more engagement from your team, making the meeting more productive overall. Is there any disagreement on this? Let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. Wrapping up and assigning action items. Very important step, isn't it? No use having a meeting if it's not productive. Wrapping up a meeting properly is just as important as starting it well. You want to make sure everyone knows what happens next. Here are some effective closing phrases. Before we wrap up, let's go over the action items. To summarize, Alex will work on the server issue and Maria will prepare the documentation by Wednesday. Is that clear? I'll follow up with an email summarizing today's key points and action items. These phrases will ensure everyone knows their responsibility and gives a sense of closure to the meeting. It also shows that you're organized and taking accountability for the follow-up, which builds trust and reliability among your colleagues. So let's have a call to action. That's it. So these are the key phrases that will help you communicate clearly and confidently in IT meetings. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but it's also about how you say it that makes a big difference. How you're perceived by your colleagues. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like it and subscribe for more business English tips tailored to IT professionals and other business people. Also, click the link in the description to take my 10-question business English quiz. It comes with a personalized report to help you improve your skills. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.